on CuriosityStream. How do you connect a 16th century potato to limitless energy production? Could Napoleon's toothpick have a direct link to a machine that predicts the future? And how can a 1700s conch shell chart a course to humans connecting their brains to the internet? James Burke's visionary series Connections returns for a new generation. Experience all new Connections with monthly, annual, and bundled plans. Find the one that works for you at curiositystream.com.
Anyway, hi.
Hi, nice to finally see you.
Yeah, totally. Same here.
You must be incredibly busy because we were going back and forth for a while. I was like, that would be great.
And I was sick, so that took me out for a little bit. But
oh gosh.
I'm fine. Everything's past. It's in the past.
So it wasn't the COVID or
yeah.
Wow.
But not that bad. So
yeah, it seems to be
a timeout. Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. So any symptoms or anything that just mild?
Yeah. But they were, here and gone, and a week I had my 10 days and I'm good.
Yeah. So. I think that's hardest for performers too, because you're really wanting to get out there. You're doing the clubs or whatever, and you're exposing
canceled.
yourself.
I had to cancel. Well, I am such a health fanatic, so I wasn't ever too pushed about getting out there and being around things. I feel like, I take my vitamin D and my everything anyway. So it was really more about, oh shoot, I have to actually cancel. I have to actually step away from things for a minute. So
yeah, I would always feel like I'm letting the audience down, but it's like your health comes first. I mean, you're no good. Totally.
In anything in life, I have learned health. You will be nothing without your health. So
yeah. And you need that to sing, I mean, you would hope that your lungs weren't getting damaged or anything like that. So, I mean, the activities you do.
Yeah. I think luckily for me, I've always had a really good, strong lung breathing system. So no asthma, anything like that. So.
And I think it's so important to take care of yourself when you're doing something like that. I don't know how these performers do it when they're smoking. And how does that help?
I don't know. God bless you. I can't pull that off.
Yeah.
It sounds great to do a song with that kind of quality, but it's just not a lifestyle I could carry on with either.
Right. I don't know how they do it for the long term. I was just listening to an interview with John Mellencamp, and he's been smoking for like 50 years or so.
Oh my gosh, he still does?
Yeah, still smoking.
Wow.
Smokes American Spirits, which I just don't even think that's not like they're light.
Well, there's no chemicals in those, so I get that. It's just tobacco. And there are some very small perks for very small amounts of nicotine. So whatever. For every study you find that it's good, you'll find that it's bad. So
Right. Exactly. It's years ago, it was totally okay. I could see performers around that age. It was like part of their lives. So it's very hard to give up. That's a big time drug.
Yeah. Thankfully, I'm good.
Wow. So lately you're back out there, back in the clubs, you seem to be basically in the New York, Connecticut area.
Yeah. I live in Connecticut, so I've been mostly here. Connecticut, you're right, and some New York spots, which I try to keep as a home base anyway. And then occasionally I'm touring. I'm trying to plan something else with plan some more travel with this new EP that I'll be releasing end of February. So I have to look back into that. But it's a lot to do on my own. So it's constant emails and phone calls and check-ins and checkups and who do I know in the area that I can crash with and that kind of thing.
I'm in town. You got a couch?
I've been so blessed. I really have with that. So traveling, I hope to do more of that this year. The bigger travel that I was doing, certainly with flights and everything, I put on hold. I might be able to get back to that this year. We'll have to see how things unfold. But as far as I'm concerned, I love driving and popping on some of my podcasts and just letting them ride. So I'm okay with that too.
That's awesome. Do you practice in the car? Do you do any car singing? No car karaoke going on?
I am probably the worst when it comes to a legit singer. I don't ever rehearse. I don't ever warm up. I just kind of rolling my way out there, and everything is, I think because I'm doing it so much anyway,
Yeah.
it's all there. And I've been doing it for so long. It's there. I remember in acting class, we had learned that if you rehearse it enough, you have to at some point trust that the work that you've put in is just there at the ready.
Yeah.
And that's been the way it's worked for me. So I like it.
That's so cool. But just to have that kind of talent and just to be able to just jump into it and not have to do that amount of rehearsal is like, that's a serious gift.
Well, different strokes for different folks. I don't know. I think it works for me. Someone else might disagree, but I'm not going to break the mold.
Yeah, seriously. So you're in the New York, Connecticut, and that northeastern quadrant of the country. You seem to have more of like that southern rollicking influence. Where does that all come from? Are you like into Melissa Etheridge?
No. Geez, if all the 90s women that people want to compare me to, it's some of it's really great. Some of it I'm like, really? But it is funny that's kind of
it gives you that vibe.
Genre.
Yeah.
I really don't know. I can tell you I grew up listening to stuff my parents were listening to. So Linda Ronstadt, Everly Brothers, there was some 50s swing going on in there, little John Denver, Andy Gibb, like weird conglomerate of stuff. Certainly Patsy Cline. So there was some Loretta Lynn. My mother loved that line of country. I can't really say country, but we talk about people like Bonnie Raitt too. She was a big influence for me. Sheryl Crow, but that was when Sheryl Crow was more rock, I guess you would say, like pop rock. I'm not too sure. I know that I had a really difficult time as a kid when I was first singing and songwriting, because my voice was so bluesy and had some rock to it, that just putting me in the singer-songwriter category didn't fully fit. So I wasn't too sure what to do with myself or how to fully express myself. And as I've gotten older, I just leaned into it and said, this is it. However it is, whoever this is, again, I let someone else decide and come up with that, but this is who I am. I have a little blues, a little rock, a little pop, definitely some country lean in there. Countrified indie rock. I don't know, really.
Yeah, you can't really box yourself into just one cat. I think that's what the music industry wants to do. That's what record execs do.
100%. And I've never been able to follow a model. In fact, I don't know how much you've gotten to listen to my catalog that's online, but it's quite different. The songs are quite different from one to another or a collection to another. And fortunately, I'm not bound to a record label that is trying to stuff me into any one pigeonhole. So I just play with it all and whatever comes out. And then I work with a producer at the time to flesh out how I envision this incarnation of the song or my music or me to work its way out.
So when did you, growing up, and you grew up in that area?
Yes. Yeah.
When did you discover, hey, I want to be in music? Or did you want to go into acting more so when you were going up through middle school and beyond?
I was super young. I think I probably was somewhere in the 4, 5, 6-year-old range. And we went to a small local production of Alice in Wonderland. And I my parents and I remember the moment at the end of the show, and I stood up and I said, I want to do that. And they were like, okay, well, we'll take you to the dance classes. And it really started with that. The woman who ran the dance academy, she had a contact that was a manager in New York, and she brought me in and auditioned. And then I started performing professionally at about 7.5, 8 years old.
Wow.
So I knew I wanted to do music and perform. I think as far as the songwriting, that wasn't, even though I started middle school plunking around on a keyboard making songs just for myself, I didn't really start songwriting until I was near the end of my college studies, because I went for musical theater. That I just said, my voice is my strong suit. I should follow with that. So my mom got me some garbage little guitar that I taught myself to play. And then I started songwriting. Not very well, but I did.
You got to start somewhere. Yeah.
I got to start somewhere. So yeah. College was a little more serious, hitting the coffee shop scene, hitting the booking gigs in New York. And yeah.
The typical thing you think of that old show Friends, where I was playing in coffee houses. So huge back in the 90s.
Jewel, that's how Jewel was discovered.
That's right.
People still tell me, go play in coffee shops. I'm like, I can't make money in a coffee shop. Execs don't hang out there anymore either. So.
It's just a loose change when people are just getting, here it is in your case. That's
even a thing. Yeah, certainly.
So how did the recording begin? Your first album, how did that all come together?
That's probably, I should revisit exactly how that came together. I think a friend of mine, I was looking to do a demo, and there were...
Are you struggling to conceive? You have options, and at Piedmont Reproductive Endocrinology Group, we'll make sure you have the guidance and support you need. PREG is known for individualized fertility care that's unique to every patient. We take the time to provide a reassuring and empowering experience because we believe that you deserve nothing less. Let us help you on your journey to parenthood. Visit us at pregonline.com to learn more. Get the guidance and support you need at Piedmont Reproductive Endocrinology Group.
There were a couple songs. I had written maybe 2 songs. And then a friend of mine said he knew someone that recorded in the area. So I hooked up with him, and he primarily did the whole production, made a little demo for me. I did 2 songs. I did a Nina Simone song, Don't Take All Night, with my own little spin on it. Hilarious when I go back and listen to that thing now. And a song from Alice in Wonderland, because I am obsessed with that show. And then the two songs of mine, and I recorded that. Yeah, my first songs were on that: Chrysanthemum and This Love, and She. There was a song called She. So.
Did you have to go into a studio, the old traditional studio?
Yes,
and do it on tape. And
it was here. It was here in Connecticut, and my dad went with me and laid down some tracks. I think the studio engineer had mostly put everything together. I had a drummer come in and throw down maybe a track or 2 for drums, but most of it was synth, and manufactured sounding. Just something to start getting me to hand out to whoever I met.
That's how you get the units out. It was pressed on CD.
Yes.
Handed out at the shows.
Right.
We're charged $16.
I still have CDs that I have at my gigs because people have them in their cars. And
yeah, that's the true troubadour. You're troweling, you come with your boxes of CDs,
hard copy. Yeah.
We laugh about it now. It's actually, I think CDs are making that comeback too, just like LPs.
Are they?
Oh yeah, I was reading
records.
something in Rolling Stone about that, how they're coming back. Yeah.
Wow. Well,
Sales have gone up.
I'll hold on to my inventory then.
I'll really date myself and say, hey, the 8-track's going to come back too.
Wow. Yeah. That and cassettes.
I never understood, those kind of formats. I know it was about portability, but like, why would you want to come back to those? I know maybe in a retro fashion, but it's like, they're not the greatest formats.
You're right. You're right. The LP I can understand.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But
Yeah, it's really tactile that you could hold it and read your lyrics if you have a lyric.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is great. So what is your songwriting process as you're coming together? What inspires you? I know a lot of performers are like taking their, their iPhone or their Android, just putting the notes in there, and just whenever it hits them, they're writing.
I wish I could be in some ways that simple for me. Every now and then, once in a blue moon, I'll do that. I'll have something going through my head and I just throw it down in there. I've yet to make anything out of those songs, but the lyrics are there, or the little melody lick is there, and I just have it. It's just cataloged for something sometime somewhere. It feels good to have it out of me and somewhere. Most of the time, I'm sitting down with my guitar. I really like it plugged in. I like a big sound. I used to play in the bathroom for the acoustics.
Great acoustics.
I love that bouncy sound. So I'm either in the bathroom, or I'm plugged in, or I'm plugged in the bathroom. And I'm just strumming, playing, trying new things. I'm self-taught on guitar, so I still will just play around with letting my fingers land in some places and find something that works. And then it's not quite a lyric that happens. So I would say it's melody that happens first, but there's some, the dog, hold on. No, you can't.
We got
like that.
animals. I don't know if I'm the one with the
She's-
cat here, because I want the cat that keeps coming in here.
She likes to, squeak the things. Find a bone, Dave. So I will just sing gibberish.
Huh, yeah. Like dummy lyric kind of.
Dummy lyrics.
Filler.
Yeah, so things don't quite go together. Every now and then, a line from one of those will sneak into the song. But yeah, I guess I would say melody. And I even let a melody or a note inform what the content of the song will be, what the theme or the mood. I've often felt that there's so much weight in music therapy. So music is healing. And there have been times when I've sang a note or something, and the way it resonates will make me laugh, bring me to tears. It is really cathartic and informative of what a song could be. So melody.
Yeah. And that process is coming through for you now. Is the EP the one that's coming out? Do you have a title? Are you all set for it? And how's that coming together?
So the single will come out on January 28th, and that's called Never Give Up. And then the EP is called Little Fire, and there is a title track called Little Fire on there. And that will be out last Friday of February. I think it's either the 25th. I think it's the 25th or 28th.
Yeah, this isn't a leap year, is it? It's where we have that extra day.
Oh my gosh,
it was
no,
2020.
Thankfully. Yeah.
It's so confusing. It's like, February.
Talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like, it's gonna be February 29th. No, we don't have one this year.
Yeah.
Well, that's really cool. So that's coming together. How many songs are on this EP now?
Just 4.
That's
tiny
good.
little EP. Yeah, that's what I could handle. And I wanted to pull another reason why it is just 4 songs, because I could have went for just a couple more. These are songs, aside from Never Give Up, these are songs that didn't have a home anywhere.
Yeah.
And they were first started as these little voice memos, and I wanted to complete them, but I wanted them to be heard. I didn't want to just, like quite a lot of my songs, they're just not recorded. They're just written, and they're maybe in my gigging music, and that's it. So I full out wrote these and recorded these and was happy to have them on a little collection of their own so they could have a home together.
Yeah, like a lot of artists. And again, I go back because I just heard John Mellencamp. He's been talking a lot because he has a new album out now. And he's like, I've got hundreds and hundreds of songs that have never been recorded. There's like a whole suitcase of them.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how it
you
goes.
don't really think that. You don't think that artists, you think, well, what you hear is just basically everything they've written. It's like, no, you don't understand. There's a whole catalog there.
Yeah. There's stuff that you think is great that maybe no one else resonated with. There's stuff that you think is horrible that you just kind of leave in the dark in the pile underneath. I don't even often think about that about my other musician friends or other artists that I admire, that they probably are the same thing. Have a ton of songs that no one's probably going to hear.
Yeah, and these days, doing singles, EPs, we're kind of going back to that because in the world of digital, you just want to get it out there.
Yeah. And for promotion, it's good to help get people excited about the rest of the album or collection that's going on. So yeah, and like you're saying, just consumable content, having something out there. I think the model now is every 6 weeks, you're supposed to have a new song, or like, I don't know if I can afford keeping up on that. I would love that, but
wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
wow.
That's the model.
So all in all, your whole catalog, how many EPs and LPs together do you have out there?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah. I'm losing count because
I haven't counted. As far as CDs that I've, or like collections that I've really went and printed that are more than a single, I'm gonna guess there's somewhere ballpark 10.
It's very good. I'm being so young and
ballpark. Yeah. I try not to be precious with my music. There was a time for being overly critical, and I just don't want to be that girl anymore. I want to feel it, write it, produce it, put it out. This last one is killing me because I've sat on it for like a year and haven't gotten it out. So this is already really long time since I've finished this project to getting it out. But generally, I like to make it and just get it out there. And so
it's your own was this basically your own lockdown sessions, like because you were at home so much and just writing and creating?
No, I don't. Maybe a little bit. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think of the content of all the songs, and I'm like, yeah, that's right. I did. I wrote them all over the past year. Not the past year, but those 2 years.
Yeah. It's all a fog in a lot of ways too. It's like these last 2 years, I've been doing so much more work from home, and it's really weird. I never would have imagined in a zillion years we'd be doing something like this. So unpredictable. It really is.
Yeah, and there's pros and cons, but like you said, a blur. That's a great way to describe it.
So where did you go to school? You went to NYU?
I went to NYU, Tisch, for musical theater. I was in the Cap 21 department, and
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Okay, round 2. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry. We were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right. ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
I think because I grew up doing musical theater and TV, and I was doing everything. A lot of voiceovers. I did a lot of voice work and jingles. Um, by the time I got to my senior year was where I realized my voice is my strong suit. I'm a tiny woman. There's really very limited roles that I would be cast for, and the competition, it was just too much. So I figured, okay, well, let me try singing and songwriting. So I worked with the department heads and said, hey, I want to drop a bunch of classes. How can I still get my degree? Yeah. And they just fully supported me, which I'm really grateful for. So I think I kept tap. Anything that had to do with vocal performance or singing, I kept. And I think that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
New
dropped
York.
ballet and jazz.
Yeah.
I dropped some of the acting classes. Yeah.
It's tough in the acting world, and you feel that way. It's like, but there's some other women, like I think of like Bette Midler. My sister got out of doing theater because she felt like she was a small person. I was like, but there's so many. There's like Bette Midler. You could be the next Bette Midler. It's like, no, I just don't feel like competing. It's just, they have a certain, image for women in this world, and that's really sad to even think that's it's Hollywood, the acting world, or even on Broadway. It's got to be really tough.
Yeah, I think, and the audition process is not fun either. And because I really didn't want to do regional theater, I wasn't looking to do tours or anything like that. It just became clear to me that to have a home of doing that long term after I graduated it wasn't going to be where I wanted to land. So music pulled, and I went with that, and then was getting some, little mild traction and playing places and meeting people. And so I just stuck with that.
How long did it take for you to teach yourself guitar? How did that come
I
about?
still am. What are you talking about?
Is it by ear and you're totally, I know this chord, I know this chord. It seems to be so much harder as you get older, though.
Probably. Yeah. And I am so just stuck in my ways. I have no interest in knowing what chords I'm playing. I have very little interest. I have very little interest in knowing what I'm doing. I'm doing it as a means to an end, to write songs and to perform solo when I need to. It's unconventional, not just the way I look at playing guitar, but also how I play guitar, which is percussive, mostly rhythm based. But wow, how long did it take me? I would say to be rhythmically really good, I would feel years, just years. But I did have a lot of people, even at the beginning, that said, your rhythm is really good. And I like how you do the way you do it. You're percussive. And that was before I was using electric. I was doing the acoustics. I had a lot of banging. I don't know. I can't explain it unless you go watch an older video of me online. Yeah, but I don't know how to read music with what
Nobody
I'm
really
playing. Does. Yeah, right?
Who does anymore? Everybody I've spoken with.
There's and hats off to the people that can. My gosh, that's just genius to me. I wasn't that good at music theory. So I, play to my strengths, not my weaknesses.
No, absolutely. And it's just so much more organic in your style. It's like you're not overthinking it, and it's getting out there, and you have a really good rhythm and feel to it. So I say kudos to all of that. So
and hire a guitarist. I just hire a guitarist. Yeah. I really need a extra element.
Are you learning any other instruments? Are you interested in keyboard or going beyond that?
So I originally started playing piano when I was in middle school. I had lessons for probably 2 years, couldn't keep up with practicing on my own, found it really boring. There was a time when I was reading music with the two hands, not well, but I was doing it. And, don't use it, you lose it. So for sure, I can plunk things out. And I probably know more about chords on a piano than I do on guitar. I used to write quite a few songs on piano, But again, those are now in my archives. I don't even know if I remember how to play them, but they're there. They're recorded, so someone else could figure it out. And I would like to. That's a good tip. I should go back. I have a keyboard. I should probably see what happens with it.
Seems to go better if you just mess around yourself rather than dealing with a piano teacher. I think that's probably from when you're really little young. That's probably the time to have a teacher.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's just like anything else, though. If you're older, you have to have that discipline if you want to pick that skill up. It seems like, because you don't overthink it as a kid. I mean, it's just why some of these geniuses started out playing these instruments at 5 years old. And
amazing. So jealous.
Jealous. I really am.
How do you
some
do
of these
that?
little prodigies online? I'm like, oh my God.
I know. What am I doing with my life? Yeah. Well, and there's the world of internet now for them to capitalize on that kind of talent at such a young age. I do remember when I was teaching myself finger picking, though, and how grueling that was. Do you play at all?
No.
Yeah. So it is that thing of trying to make your two hands come together in a marriage that doesn't want to happen naturally. And it was just constant, the slow rhythm, getting that muscle memory going. And I was working with a guitar teacher for like not long at all, a couple weeks. And he said, he just said, just keep doing it. I know you hate it. I know it's just this motion back and forth. You just keep doing it slow until you get a little faster. And I remember being so fed up and leaving there that day. And I woke up the next morning and I picked up the guitar and did it. And I couldn't believe how it really magically, your body takes it on and says, oh, this is how you do that. I was so excited.
I was that way when I rode a bike. It's like I couldn't do it. And then nobody's looking, I jumped on the thing. And it just happened. Yeah. It's like, I'd love to take up keyboard. I think I got more of the piano type hands. I think the grooves of the strings on the guitar, I think would just like indent too much on my fingers and bother me. But yeah, I'd love to learn keyboard.
Yeah. Bigger hands will help with that. I do not have that. So stinks for me. But also on guitar, you can buy different guitars with different size necks for how you play. And because I have a smaller hand and I play mostly rhythm, my guitar necks I can really only play very specific guitars. And it takes me a long time to find a guitar that works because it has to be a specific width and because I'm playing mostly rhythm and I'm barring or not needing to do intricate finger work, I don't need so much room.
Right.
So not a whole lot of people make these kind of guitars, so it gets tricky, but
you gotta, where do you go shopping for them? Do you go to like more independent stores or your guitar centers?
For acoustics, it's just trial and error. And I know what my measurements are supposed to be. Ideally, I would love to have someone make me a guitar. But I have my two guilds. I found the models. These guilds, they're older. They don't make them anymore. But I have those and they're amazing. With electrics, it's a lot easier because those necks are always much thinner and usually a little thinner in the other width as well. So I'm partial to my Gretsch and my Ibanez, surprisingly. So they're great.
Nice. So getting into your catalog, one album, The Butterfly and the Phoenix. Where does that come from? That's an interesting title.
That was my first parlay into this sound of music, the indie rock, a little bit of blues thing. Butterfly and the Phoenix. So it's these two creatures that transform into something fierce and beautiful. And I did the artwork on it, which was really fun. And yeah, just a collection of songs that I felt somehow fit together. I had a producer that helped me go through several songs, and we whittled it down to these. The only one that wasn't originally in the list was Lies, because I wrote that the night before I went into the studio.
Good lyrics in that one. I like that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Silver spoon with everything.
I'm glad a lot of people like that song. I like that song. And yeah, when I played it for him in the morning, he was like, oh, we have to do that one too. I was like, okay. So great musicians he pulled together. One of them is still a dear friend of mine off that record. Not record, CD collection. Listen to me. But yeah, that was my first step into owning this instrument, I think.
Yeah, it's just beautiful. And the acoustic album has some really good standouts. And one that really gets me is called Little Yellow House. You saying that was used in a film?
Yeah, someone that I knew back in New York, she's a filmmaker, and she really wanted to use that one. So that one's off of, because I have a couple acoustic style ones. That one I think is off of ×2, X2.
X2, yes.
X2. It's ×2 to me, because that's the second acoustic collection I did. And the third one being Shadows. But Little Yellow House, yeah, it's a really incredible song for me. I wrote it with like 101 point something fever, sick at my mom's house. And it's a story for my family. And it took me a long time to play that one without crying.
Yeah. And it was pretty emotional when you saw the short film and there was your song.
Oh my gosh. Was there an interview on that somewhere? I cried when I saw it. It's just, it hits you, you know. And married very well with my friend's short film.
Right. It's a friend of yours who did the short. What's the name of the film?
Short Steps.
Short Steps.
Yeah.
So Western Bell is another great one off the acoustic.
That's a fun one. Just, it's funny how these songs, to me, they're more than just the story that I wrote. It's the whole story of where I was, what was going on in my life, the things around that writing moment. Then there's other songs I don't even remember writing. I don't know where I was. It is. It's quite intriguing. But Western Bell was just, I'd made up a movie in my head, and based off of some other horror movies that I'd been watching. And I picked these 3 characters and I told the story as best I could.
Check in, but you can't check out. That's a little ode to the Eagles, Hotel California.
Oh, and that was not a part of how I put that in there. But
I think it's just a very true line in our minds, because we think, like Hotel California, you can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. I think we're all prisoners of a lot of ideas like that.
Yeah. And it sinks into the subconscious, right? And the collective.
Yeah.
Finds its way out again. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And online, you have a great collection of videos. So we could see like a lot of performers, a lot of musicians like, I'm not into acting. I'm just, I'll do the performance videos. I don't want to do the concept. But when you're doing a performance video, it seems to me like, you could tell that there's an acting background. And in just some of these videos, Beautiful Girl comes to mind.
Yeah.
You could just tell the expressions. And where was that shot?
Thanks. Beautiful Girl was New York, and
just different locations.
Yeah, different locations all over. Certainly Central Park is in there. A recording studio. It was very cold recording that.
You could tell, yeah.
And we had to reshoot it. It actually was reshot twice, but we had to reshoot it. The original footage was stolen.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Because it's
So
all
there
on
was just
files these days. It's
exactly. So we had to go
stolen.
back, and it came out. I want to believe that it came out better the second time. Knew what we were doing a little
Right.
more, finessed it. So
How
very
did
happy.
that when you got the call? Oh, we got to redo this whole thing. It's so heartbreaking when you got to like, oh my God, I got to start all over again. Are you kidding me?
It's yeah, it's like, oh my gosh. Well, it wasn't just my stuff that was on the file. It was other people as well. So, I mean, not to say that it's, I wouldn't wish that on anybody, having to reshoot or losing stuff, any part of magic that you've created. You don't want to lose it. Geez, if someone had said that to me about my video,
Right.
oh gosh, that would have really crushed me, because it was a perfect day. It was a perfect day of weather and shooting. It was like the universe came together and said, we're going to give you all the best of everything. Things are going to be timed out right. The lighthouse is going to look perfect. No one's going to be there. That would have been a rough one to have to reshoot, but
Cute.
whatever.
Cute.
They came out. They came out all right.
Yeah. And then a whole bunch of other stuff online. The Warm Studio sessions. Was that just done recorded in one session, or was that just several different versions of songs?
So the Warm Audio sessions, there's actually a Beautiful Girl and You were also done through them with their support, but there were some that were studio sessions, and then of course the other ones that were more music video kind of vibe. So we would record the song, and then I go in and I sing to it, and you have all the performers and we're all playing and whatnot. So
yeah.
did
Running
a
from the
bunch of
Law
those.
live in the studio is just so rollicking and just so spirited. It's really
I love
well
that.
done.
Thank you. Yeah, that was the first one I think we did, was Running from the Law. Again, another song I wrote the night before I went in the studio, because I was supposed to be doing Beautiful Girl. And I wrote that song and figured, I think this is more of the acoustic song that I should be doing, and save Beautiful Girl for another time. So we did. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. Another great video, Come On Down, is more serene. Love the scenery. It's just beautifully shot.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
That's again in good old Connecticut, just
Beautiful state.
in the neighborhood. There's some nice spots here. Yeah. We're tiny, but there's some places. We're right by the water. I love being at the water. So yeah, Come On Down was a much different mood. It felt like taking a little risk with something like that, but I guess need to express all the sides of me. So went with that, and I don't know what else to say about that.
Yeah. No, it's just awesome. So you're on all the formats: Spotify, Bandcamp,
Trying my best.
all that.
Amazon, Google, and Apple, and I use Spotify. That's it. So I don't know much about how the other platforms work all that well. But I know that when you upload the music, it goes to all the partners. So
yeah.
wherever you're trying to find Elle Sera music, you're going to find it. I can say that.
You could stumble on, and that's how I did. I stumbled through Facebook, your ads and your video clips come through. So that's how we all find you.
It works. Yeah.
Do you plan on traveling beyond your area, the Northeast US?
For sure. Back last fall, I was down, where did I hit? I hit North Carolina, West Virginia, South Carolina, Nashville, Asheville, hit a bunch of places. So I would like to do that sort of route again. There's plenty up here in New England that I need to tap into a little better. Vermont and Maine, and further up, even further up New York area. And then just heading further south, getting to Philly, Georgia,
I'm
Florida.
I'm in the
Doing
Atlanta
real well.
area.
Oh, you're Atlanta. Yeah. So Atlanta for sure.
Yeah. Well, it'd be great. Over in Decatur, I always promote Eddie's Attic. That's a place.
Oh, yeah. Totally.
It's a great place. Just you and the guitar. You don't have to bring lots of equipment, and you just
Exactly. Just solo voice. How old school am I? Just a voice and a guitar.
Yeah.
Neil Young, James Taylor kind of style. A little more rock, but yeah.
There's an audience for that, and it's wonderful. I hope to see you here at Eddie's Attic or the Red Clay Theater. That would be awesome.
Ooh.
Be great. So the new EP is coming out, and it'll be on what's the website?
So if you go to elleseramusic.com is my website, and that should be getting a makeover, facelift pretty soon, but it's still functional. Everything's there. You can see places I'm playing and videos and content and all that kind of stuff. You can also find me on Facebook. I'm far more active on Instagram as a way to get to know people back and forth. But I do use Facebook. I'll do lives more often on Facebook. And that's kind of it for platforms. I just can't. It's too much with all the others. I stick to those two. I try to do them best I can, make them a little different. But the website's out there. I am on Bandcamp. There is some stuff on SoundCloud.
Cool.
And then just the other, YouTube.
Yeah, that's it. You're doing everything you can to get it out there. Yeah, I mean, there's just
never ending, really. Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Well, best wishes. Thank you so much for speaking with me.
Thank you for having me here. You too.
Have a good one.
Thanks. You too. Bye-bye.
With Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to... Has anyone seen the bride and groom?
Sorry, we're here. We were getting lucky in the limo and we lost track of time.
No, Lucky Land Casino, with cash prizes that add up quicker than a guest registry.
In that case, I pronounce you lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Daily bonuses are waiting. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.